Now, welcome once again. Tens of thousands gathered in Vatican City today for the funeral of Pope Francis, celebrating a life that broke traditions and bridged divides. News Central's international correspondent, Afia Hagen, reports from Rome.
Massive crowd, including world leaders, royalty and everyday worshippers, gathered in St. Peter's Square to bid farewell to Pope Francis, who passed away on Easter Monday at the age of 88. More than 400,000 mourners, including approximately 50,000 in St. Peter's Square alone, attended the funeral, reflecting the broad appeal of a pope who emphasized humility and reform. Former President Joe Biden, President Donald Trump, President Emmanuel Macron, President Volodymyr Zelensky, Prince William and other dignitaries joined cardinals, bishops and priests for the solemn service. Pope Francis chose simplicity even in death, opting for a modest wooden coffin lined with zinc instead of traditional elaborate papal caskets, symbolic of his vision for a poor church for the poor. In his homily, Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re praised Pope Francis for his compassion and his ability to resonate deeply with people from all walks of life, highlighting his dedication to migrants, climate change, and openness to all. Cardinal Re notably echoed Pope Francis's advocacy, urging global leaders to build bridges, not walls. After the service, the pontiff's coffin was blessed with holy water and carried back into St. Peter's Basilica as the solemn tolling of funeral bells echoed through the city. Pope Francis' final journey then took him through the streets of Rome, greeted by crowds of supporters cheering and applauding. In a poignant reflection of his lifelong advocacy, prisoners and migrants carried his coffin into the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, his chosen resting place. In keeping with his final wishes, Pope Francis was buried privately and simply, with just his papal name, Franciscus, inscribed on his grave. For News Central, I'm Afia Hagen in Rome.
Now, for more on this, I'm joined by our international correspondent, Afia Hagen, to provide a quick rundown of the day's events. Afia, thank you very much for joining us. Please, if you tell us what's the latest from Rome the day after the Pope's funeral.
Yeah, so I am here at Santa Maria Maggiore, that church where the Pope has been buried. It's open today, so people have been queuing up since 4 a.m. to be able to file past the Pope's body and see his last resting place. The coffin has been entombed here in the church, in the Basilica, just behind me here, with a simple white rose laid on his coffin. This is really the focal point for today, the second day of 9 days of mourning.
Afia, you want to tell us about some of the standout moments for you from the momentous occasion?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, seeing all the cardinals there in their ceremonial red yesterday at the funeral, some of those aerial shots showed that earlier on. I think the service by Giovanni Battista Re that he gave when he talked about the things that Pope Francis really believed in, fairness for all, inclusivity, how much he believes that migrants and prisoners should be part of society as well. You know, that drew ripples of applause from the crowd, and I thought that was really, really a standout moment. And also the fact that communion was being given out in the streets all across Rome, through St. Peter's Square, where we were, about 50,000 people. You know, you had ministers and reverends moving through the crowd and giving people communion. It was really quite emotional. I saw people crying in the crowd. So I think it was those kind of smaller moments for me that really stood out yesterday during the Pope's burial.
So now, what happens now as we await the beginning of conclave? Any word from the Camerlengo, or maybe just general expectations?
Not yet. So we don't know when conclave will start. It'll be sometime between the 6th and the 11th of May. 135 cardinals will be eligible to be part of conclave, which means it could be the largest ever. Could it mean it could be the longest ever? That I can't tell you. The longest conclave that happened was 33 months long. Pretty long time. And the shortest was only a day. So at the moment, they will be meeting behind closed doors in secret to make the arrangements for the beginning of conclave. And of course, that will set the course for the future of the Catholic Church.
Afia, thank you very much for joining us once again to give us updates from Rome. We appreciate this, and we'll continue to come to you for more. Our Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevori was absent at the Progressive Governors Forum met in Abuja on Saturday night. The meeting was to welcome new entrants into the ruling All Progressives Congress, but Oborevori, who recently teamed up with the party, did not attend. Oborevori, who swept to victory in 2023 under the main opposition People's Democratic Party, however, dumped the party earlier in the week, citing several factors. The governor, his predecessor Ayo Olorunfemi, and the entire PDP in the South state said they are collapsing their structure into the leading APC, which they argue serves as a better platform for the oil-rich state. Other persons who attended the meeting include Senator Ned Nwoko, who represented Delta North, the Minister of Aviation Festus Keyamo, a former Deputy Senate President Ovie Omoagege, APC scribe Felix Moka, a former governorship candidate in Delta State, Great Ogboru, and other members of the National Assembly. And Abia State Governor Alex Oti has dismissed reports suggesting that he is planning to defect to the All Progressives Congress from the Labour Party. In a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ferdinand Okioma, the governor clarified that he neither held any meeting with Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma nor discussed plans to join the APC. He explained that following the National Economic Council meeting on Thursday, 24th of April, Governor Oti, alongside a few of his colleagues, had attended the birthday celebration of Governor Uzodinma's twin daughters, a purely social event unconnected to politics. Okioma stressed that any major political move by Governor Oti must be justified and demonstrably in the overriding interest of the Abia people. Now, the Deputy National Chairman of the Labour Party, Dr. Ayo Olorunfemi, has advised the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate to ignore all calls to dump the party ahead of the 2027 general elections. Olorunfemi, who was the LP candidate in the 2024 Ondo governorship election, told journalists on Sunday in Lagos that Obi should rather focus on rebuilding the party. Olorunfemi, who noted that though Obi was at liberty under the law to associate with any political party of his choice, said he needed to be wary of what he called dangerous advances, noting that Obi could resolve the crisis in the LP. Olorunfemi said that some aspirants shelved their ambition in 2022 to allow Obi to use the LP platform to run for president. He, however, said that if Obi decided to dump the LP, the party would continue to exist as a strong opposition party. In the meantime, the Obidient movement is strengthening its grassroots presence in Nigeria's southwest region ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, this comes as the government, or rather the movement with members from across the southwest, organized a conference themed "Information is Power," held in Lagos. Here, News Central's correspondent Israel Ifirobo has more details.
The event opened with a welcome address by Honorable Sheyi Shewumi, a member of the House of Representatives, who stressed the vital role of political awareness and voter education in shaping Nigeria's future.
These are your colors, your family in this fight to rescue Nigeria. Lean on them, learn from them, and when the work feels heavy, let the passion remind you in Nigeria is possible.
The conference keynote session featured influential voices from the movement, including Dele Farotimi, a member of the Obidient Southwest Council, and Yunusa Tango, the Obidient coordinator worldwide.
If you are interested in doing anything with 2027, you better let that agitation begin today with demand for electoral reform of this sort that allows you to have a vote and that allows you to be able to speak with some credibility as to being citizens.
Building the structure from the top, we've gotten our leadership from the top, we have our directorate. Now we are going to get our state coordinators, from the state coordinators down to the ward level, from the ward level down to the polling unit.
A major highlight was the official launch of the Obidient registration platforms designed to streamline the onboarding of both new and existing members.
Obidient card is the registration card for all Obidient movement members. We want to know our numbers. We want to connect with each other. And so this card, this is the Obidient card, this is my own card. The registration I did yesterday. And so today, I am a registered official member of the Obidient movement.
And structure, we structure to reach out to the grassroots, from the regional to the state and to the local government and to the world. And as you can see, today we launch out the digital awareness, registration of the Obidient movement. So from the regional to the state and to the world level.
And what you are seeing today is part of correcting that process. It's about starting early, it's about building structures, it's about grassroots structures, not just structures where we just come and we talk to ourselves. Polling unit structures.
Not last time, but one of our feelings was polling unit agents. We didn't have polling unit agents in the last election. So these are the mistakes we are trying to correct this time around. We are trying to get our people in every single polling unit, and it's grassroots.
Some Obidient shared their experiences at the conference.
Obedience is a great thing that is happening to us as Obedience. It's one of the movements that I cherish so much, and that's why I'm here.
We had visitors from all over Lagos and outside Lagos. It's an event I am so happy that it ended well.
Where Obidient movement was nowhere to be found. But we stood, like my group now is Obi for Better Nigeria, and we create a lot of awareness during the time of election in 2023 at Oshodi Solo. And I'm happy with what I'm seeing here, because as at there, we're just trying to get one or two people to join us. But today it has become a name that has come to stay.
With structures now being put in place, the message from the gathering was clear. The journey to 2027 starts today with information, unity, and action. In Lagos, for News Central, Israel Ifirobo.
A group of concerned Lagos residents under the banner of Tenant Watch Lagos have staged a protest to express their grievances over the soaring cost of house rents and the unchecked activities of uncertified real estate agents, commonly referred to as agents. The demonstrators marched from Ikeja to the Lagos State House of Assembly to formally present their demands. They called on Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the Lagos State House of Assembly to urgently intervene by regulating house rent and curbing the operations of illegal and unlicensed real estate practitioners across the state.
Lagos State House of Assembly, for the House of Assembly and even to the governor's office, that they should just help us arrange this thing very well, because the rate that all these agents are increasing all this house rent, house agreement and commission is getting out of hand. When house is 800,000, agreement and commission must be 40-40, which is 80,000.
The commission agreement of 18 had several experiences, to talk about it. It's alarming, it's killing people. Everything is not about government, and individual thing now, the way I see it. So it happened to me too. I wanted to get an apartment at Jojo Elegba, the apartment, 2-bedroom flat with 3 toilets, quite nice. It's going for #1 million. Then the agent in charge told me agreement and commission damages #1 million. Total package of #2 million. That's killing. That is not it at all. It should.
When it comes to my estate, in our estate, that's where I live. So our own ESCO member invite agents for our estates. They have meeting with them, collaborate with them, calling house owners to increase their rents. Like my own house from 2 million to 3 million naira right now, from 2M to 3 million naira.
There's difference between agents and the rector. You understand? It's this agent that we don't want. I know director is an occupation, you are trained for it, and you are certified, and you have your office. But funny enough, most of these guys, now them be director, but now they go they employ agents, make them they help them, they do nonsense. So it's the agents we don't want. We don't want agents.
A short break now, and when we come back, NIMET predicts thunderstorms, dust haze in Katsina, Sokoto, and other states. We'll give you the details and much more shortly. Stay with us. And you're welcome back. Now, the industrial sector in Borno State is in dire need of resuscitation. With many industries facing closure due to lack of investment and infrastructure support, experts are calling on the Nigerian government to make strategic investments to revive these industries. News Central's Umaru Kirawa assesses the state of the industries here in this report.
Borno is a Nigerian state sharing land border with 3 different countries of Cameroon, Chad and Niger republics. The popular Borno semolina flour used to be the best across Nigeria and a favorite for many families. The Borno flour mills, an industry producing the product, still exist, but the semolina flour is nowhere to be found in market.
Fulawan da suke abin da samabitan da suke kawo wallahi duk Najeriya ba irin shi. To amma yanzu wani abu ne wanda ba za ka iya maka ce kaman babu ne da akwai. To wannan al'amari ba za ka ce ga mai laifi ga wancan mai laifi ba amma menene dukkani za a taru a gyara abin yayi mai kyau.
For now it is just like a mirage. There are no functional or an industry performing optimally now in Borno if you compare it to its former state.
Property of Aliyu Zarma, this rubber bowl produced by the Borno plastic industry is 30 years old and still counting, showcasing the quality of the product.
Gaskiya kamar ce ma 30 years back. Kaga Populous wannan yana aiki, Fulamis yana aiki, Natal Shoe Factory yana aiki. Wayannan ukun dika ma zan iya gaya ma cewa ina amfani da abubuwan su.
In terms of infrastructural development, the governor has done more than enough. But we need to please, would like to please call on them to please rejuvenate some of these industries for the benefit of young people in the state. The previous administration has established about 8 or 7 industries in the states within Maiduguri metropolis. But believe me, none of them is working today.
Available data show that Borno Wire Industries, Borno Fertilizer Company Limited are dormant, while Maiduguri Flour Mills Limited performing skeletal operations, among others like Boplas and Nital Shoes Nigeria Limited, which are said to have been leased to private investors.
What the government need to have done now is like to go out and they look for investors, get confidence from these investors. I've been telling people that we have lost the opportunity of engaging the United Nations. When this insurgency is going and a lot of money is being injected, the United Nations could have select some industries and then make them activate it, and then this insurgency, it will address themselves. We all agree that one of the factors that brought this insurgency is the issue of bad governance, issue of poverty, unaddressed grievances, and so on and so forth.
With international aid gradually fading away, urgent action is needed to save these industries and stimulate economic growth in Borno State.
Kurena landala koksanare amde kuraso karabi kango dirnum kleyer ware kaw gashu aragana gaida mugana daranye arin yare bama banki arin gawar gamborungala ar furi ar fudusku mugana ne samma kolja karabi kangwa kaltanna sammana ar maratodi.
The government should come, part of the policy should include the capacity upgrade of this private sector, and by giving them soft loans for them to come back to business. These loans must also be recovered via the feedback and evaluation mechanism. As I said, government cannot do everything, but government can create the enabling environment for those who are interested to come and invest. By the time you do this, in the next 2, 3, 4 years, you can see how Borno will change. People will come, foreign direct investment will definitely come.
Borno can still unlock its industrial potential, create more employment opportunities, and pave the way for sustainable economic development as the state recovers from the years of protracted conflict. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umoru Kirawa.
Now, a major rescue operation has brought 231 Nigerians back home after they were trafficked to Ghana and forced into cybercrime. While most are victims, some have been identified as suspects linked with the criminal network. News Central's Oluwakemi Alimi here reports.
A quiet return, but a powerful story of survival. 231 Nigerians have arrived in Lagos after being rescued from a cybercrime trafficking ring in Ghana. The rescue was a joint operation involving Ghana's Economic and Organized Crime Office, Nigeria's National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, and the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission.
On the 28th March, we received a complaint from an informant alleging that a group of people suspected to be Nigerians have brought in victims to their apartment and that they are using them to engage in prohibited cyber activities. So they called on the office to assist in their arrest and then prosecution.
According to NAPTIP, 204 of the returnees have been confirmed as victims, young men trafficked under false pretenses and coerced into cyber scams. 27 others are suspected of playing roles in coordinating the criminal activities. The victims will receive medical treatment, counseling and reintegration support, while the suspects will be handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for further investigation and prosecution.
Ensure the list of them that are sick, they are stated that after profiling them, and provide drugs for them. If it is fever, headache, or any form of sickness, we attend to them. These victims were being trafficked, and they were used for internet fraud, as per the letter we got from the Ghanaian government.
It's something that ECOWAS has to take very seriously. Because of this free movement of persons, people take things for granted. So it's really something that has to be taken up more seriously by the whole of the ECOWAS community.
It was an emotional moment as some of the victims shared their harrowing experiences.
Yes, Percy took me to Ghana last year, June. That is where I entered Ghana. I want to go to school and graduate from university.
I needed the capital to start my own shop. So that was when I met one guy that went there. So he told me that there was work there, but he never told me the actual work they were doing there. So when we got there, the work they were doing there, I discovered that they were just operating computers. Then I started to ask questions. Then they told me that if I don't actually want to do the work, I should pay my transport back home. My eyes, because of steady looking on the system, I can't see well right now.
For now, the rescued individuals remain in the care of NAPTIP, undergoing rehabilitation. Authorities are warning Nigerians to remain cautious of overseas job offers that seem too good to be true. A stark reminder of the dangers of human trafficking and the urgent need for greater awareness and vigilance. In Lagos, for News Central, Oluwakemi Alimi.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has said that thunderstorms and hazy weather will affect many parts of the country between Sunday and Tuesday. In a weather update shared on Saturday in Abuja, NIMET said there will be moderate dust haze in states like Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara, Borno, Kano, Yobe and Jigawa states. The agency also said that Adamawa and Taraba states would likely see isolated thunderstorms during the forecast period. For the North Central region, NIMET said people should expect partly cloudy skies in the morning. In the south, morning thunderstorms are likely in Lagos, Cross River, Rivers State, Bayelsa and also Akwa Ibom states, with more thunderstorms later in the day across other southern states. In more news, the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Fanwo, has reiterated the unwavering commitment of the Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo-led administration to the welfare and prosperity of the people of Kogi State. Speaking with journalists in Lokoja on Sunday, Fanwo said that the administration's strategic focus on industrialization, agricultural expansion, and infrastructure development is already yielding remarkable results with improved livelihoods across urban and rural communities. The commissioner emphasized that the agricultural policy of the Ododo administration has been instrumental in combating food inflation while reinforcing Kogi's status as one of Nigeria's foremost food baskets. Nigeria's foremost Pan-African station, News Central TV, held a road campaign in Lagos connecting with grassroots communities while sharing gifts and spreading excitement. News Central's Igbalani Yamoni captured the vibrant reaction of Lagosians as they discovered more about what sets News Central apart from other broadcasters.
Live on the bustling streets of Lagos as hosts a road activation campaign to raise awareness and viewership of its platform on GoTV channel 23. And as you can see behind me, the activation is on.
The campaign taking place along the busy Oshodi CMS Aja corridor features interactive activities, lively discussions and giveaways.
So please tell me, how do you feel having this umbrella, this gift?
Good, I feel very happy.
For
sure. Thank you, News Director. More blessing.
It has provided an opportunity for Lagosians to learn more about News Central TV's mission to bring news closer to the grassroots and to offer a platform for everyday people to share their stories.
I like the News Central of my is audio talk, water.
I'm following one of my friends that do advertise about the channel on Twitter. So I'm following him. His name is I think Tony Morris. So I'm following him on Twitter. He's my friend on Twitter. That's how I got to know about the News Central. They are very open, and they give the platform to the young people to express themselves, and also talks about the current issue affecting this country presently. That's what I really like about it. I just pray that they will keep it up that way.
While engaging with Lagosians, the team is highlighting what sets News Central TV apart from other stations and the unique value viewers gain by tuning in.
We are making quality news accessible to all, not just the A class, but of course to the grassroots, and that's why we're here today, and that's why we decided to launch on Go TV, to make sure that we're providing quality news and not propaganda news to everybody, from the A class to the D class. Everybody deserves to get access to quality news, so that is one of the things that makes us different.
At News Central TV, we believe that everyone has a story worth telling. We remain committed to telling authentic African stories and amplifying diverse voices across the continent. In Lagos for News Central,
I love News Central!
Igbalani Omani.
Now, for generations, Jiwa Dam in Katsina State was synonymous with thriving chili farms until now. Climate change, deforestation and dying soils are forcing farmers like Abdul Hamid Mai Zabura to face an unthinkable choice: abandon their ancestral livelihood or starve. Our reporter, Jamil Mabai, investigates how smart agriculture and resilient crops could revive Ajiwa's fading chili empire. Here's this exclusive report.
For 35 years, Abdulhamid Maizabura has known only one way of life: chili pepper farming. Once the heartbeat of chili production in the state, his land now struggles to yield expected produce.
Amma yau amai gari tangande da muke alfahari da shi a wannan logon yau ya zanto baya. Ya ni shekara biyu ma ban sa tangande ba. Da bana da bara ko gindi ban dasa ma bane. Ka san ko a wannan logon ina ga da cikin manoma na wannan logon wanda suke samun amfanin gona na tattasai.
The soil, exhausted by climate change and deforestation, has turned against him.
Mu dai noman shi muka sani shi ne sana'a. To kuma ga sana'ar ta mu tana neman ta gagare mu saboda bayi.
For the first time in his life, Maizabura is at a crossroads. Either he abandons his only livelihood or choose starvation.
Na barin wannan kogin mu tai wani kogi, ni nan kaina yanzu ina da shawarwarin kila in raba noman rani na biyu in Allah ya kama lokacin da za a yi. In tai wani kogi inda ake samu in yi, ko in tai kasar Kaita, ko in tai kasar Mashi, ko in tai kasar Mai Aduwa, ko in tai kasar Daura.
Maizabura's story is not unique. Thousands of families in Ajiwa depended on irrigation farming until now.
Mafi ɗan uwanmu wanda suke so abin ma ya ci musu so a kware so sun tafi. To ana haka masu ƙwazon yin ma za su iya bari. Kuma kaga abin yi zai ragu. Kan nan nauyin mu ya ƙaru. Kan nan ciyarwar mu ta iyalin mu ta ƙaru. Kuma samayyar da ake da abin ta ragu. Kan nan ga tsada.
However, rampant tree cutting for firewood and uncontrolled erosion have stripped the land of its fertility. Lower yields mean less food and less income. But 25 kilometers away, there is hope. Agricultural experts say smart farming could be the lifeline Ajiwa farmers desperately need.
We use these tanks to pump the water through all these hoses so that it will supply the water to any places where we plant. These hoses were designed to make sure the water come in drops.
With real-time data, farmers like Maizabura could know exactly when to plant, water, or harvest, maximizing their shrinking resources.
We reduce the impact of climate change and find a way so that we can have a better yield and improve varieties. Even in the rainy season farming, we have different kind of varieties that will stand this shortage of water.
Maizabura wants improved seedlings that are climate change resilient to revive his farming. Researchers like Bawali have started producing improved seedlings that feeds Maizabura's demand. From Katsina, for News Central, Jamil Mabai.
The federal government says it is commencing efforts aimed at empowering young Nigerians with the launch of a new Teenage Talent Hunt initiative. The Minister of Youth Development, Ayo Olorunfemi, made this known during the official flag-off ceremony of the program in Abuja, saying that the initiative will engage teenagers from across the country, helping drive content development, talent scouting, and nationwide outreach, with a strong focus on inclusivity and broad participation.
This partnership represents our commitment to empower the young people and engage them by creating platforms that discover and grow their talents. The initiative agrees with our visions to engage young people in meaningful and impactful way. I am therefore happy to tell you that we are doing this to create a meaningful and a reality show that respects our value and culture as a country.
A program designed to assess the intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, and social quotient of our teenagers that are in SS3 and those yet to be admitted into the university. They will be engaging in quiz competition, essay writing, poetry, cook-out show, cooking Nigerian delicacies, cultural dance, beauty pageantry, showcasing the diverse cultures of Nigerians.
And you're welcome back. Now, former Ivorian president and opposition leader Laurent Gbagbo has launched the slogan "Enough is enough" in Abidjan, the country's capital. Gbagbo was barred from running in the upcoming October presidential elections due to a criminal conviction. Côte d'Ivoire's Independent Electoral Commission concluded Gbagbo and former Youth Minister Charles Blair Good from the provisional election list for the presidential election scheduled for late October. The IEC cited both men's initial convictions related to the 2010/11 post-election crisis as grounds for their exclusion. The former president describes the country as split in two, between the oppressed and the privileged.
Nous devons réunir tous ceux qui ont quelque chose à déplorer. On a cassé ta maison, nous t'ouvrons les bras. On te paye mal, nous t'ouvrons les bras. La vie est trop chère pour toi, nous t'ouvrons les bras. Et il faut qu'on donne un nom à ce mouvement pour ne plus que les gens se trompent. Trop, c'est trop. On prendra le riz un jour. On prendra le riz. Mais c'est pas quand ton adversaire t'attend dans la rue que tu y vas. Ouais. C'est pas quand il t'attend que tu vas le trouver. On le voit, il m'attend. C'est pas ce jour-là. Notre liberté La bataille pour notre liberté est aussi la bataille pour leur liberté. C'est pourquoi nous ne laissons pas le PDCI mourir s'il avait.
We now head to Mali, where political parties have warned of a violation of the constitution, accusing the ruling military junta of seeking to dissolve political groups as seen in neighboring Burkina Faso and Niger. The 100-member coalition has demanded respect for political pluralism, stressing that any breach could have irreversible consequences. They called for the postponement of consultations on a new political charter, criticizing the junta for delaying its implementation since it was recommended at a 2022 national conference. Mali's political tensions have deepened since military coup in 2020 and 2021, with presidential elections postponed indefinitely in March 2024. The junta, which had previously suspended party activities citing security concerns, were urged to abandon plans that could further undermine democracy in the Sahel nation, already battling jihadist violence. And in Central Africa, Catholic faithfuls in the Democratic Republic of Congo have praised Pope Francis and expressed hopes for an African pope as they have watched his televised funeral at Kinshasa Cathedral. Gemini Kumundele, a Kinshasa resident, voiced hopes for a leader who can embody authentic Catholic values. Hundreds of thousands have gathered in Rome to bid farewell to Pope Francis, the first Latin American pontiff and a champion of the poor. The Vatican reports that 400,000 mourners have filled St. Peter's Square and nearby streets. After a solemn mass, Francis's plain wooden coffin has been interred at the Santa Maria Maggiore in a private ceremony.
Je commence par présenter mes condoléances à toute l'Église et surtout à notre archidiocèse de Kinshasa. Mais par rapport à la sélection du nouveau pape, du successeur, je voudrais que ce soit cette fois-ci un pape africain, pourquoi pas, parce que nous voudrions aussi que nous soyons représentés auprès du siège pontifical.
Nous souhaitons que le prochain pape, si Dieu le veut, qu'il soit un pape africain pour garder, pour incarner certaines valeurs authentiques de l'Église catholique romaine. Un pape qui va rassembler, un pape de pauvres comme le Saint-Père, il était un pape de pauvres, un pape qui va rassembler, un pape qui va prêcher l'amour, un pape qui va réunir tous les continents au sein de la paix. Lui, il a toujours lutté pour la paix au Congo, même quand il était venu ici il y a 2 ans passés, il avait toujours parlé, retirez vos mains.
Je pense qu'il n'est pas question de race tout d'abord, il n'est pas question de race. Et je pense que d'abord, ce sera une très bonne idée. Ça nous fera plaisir, nous, en tant qu'Africains, que nous puissions voir un nouveau pape qui soit élu du continent.
And you're welcome back. Nigeria is moving from concessional and commercial external funding towards domestic revenue mobilization. Now, this is according to Finance Minister Wale Edun. He made the comment after the 2025 IMF and World Bank Spring meeting in Washington, D.C. Edun said Nigeria is prioritizing tax reforms and asset optimization over borrowing. He noted the country has cut its IMF debt by 87.5% over 2 years, with full repayment expected by mid-2025. The Tinubu administration's strategy is to extract private sector investment into sectors like infrastructure and digital services to drive economic growth and stability, moving away from reliance on external borrowing. Nigeria's electricity sector is facing renewed turmoil as Geregu Power and Transcorp Power oil gas suppliers a combined 216 billion naira, risking further generation collapse. In the first quarter 2025, debt rose by 19.7 billion naira, fueled by underpayments from the Nigerian bulk electricity trading company, NBET, and sector inefficiencies. Gerugu Power's revenue dropped 37%, while Transcorp's grew 55%, yet both suffer liquidity stress. Gerugu raised 14 billion naira in loans to stay afloat, while Transcorp's cash reserves plunged. With unpaid receivables mounting and gas supplies unpaid, industry leaders warn of possible Genco shutdowns without urgent reforms and financing solutions. And our sports, Team God Bless won the women's 200-meter title at the LSU Alumni Gold, clocking 22.72 seconds into a stiff 1.9 millisecond headwind, the second fastest time in the world this year. She outplaced Zoe Zara and Kenya Sales. Meanwhile, in the women's 100-meter, her compatriot Favor Ofili blazed to victory with a stunning 10.99 seconds, becoming only the second woman in 2025 to dip under 11 seconds. Ofili led from start to finish, beating Audrey Leduc and Thelma Davis convincingly. Another Nigerian, Rosemary Chukwuma, also impressed, winning her 100-meter heat in 11.27 seconds, despite running into a 1.7 millisecond headwind. The performances highlighted Nigeria's growing sprint power on the global stage early in the season. And Samuel Ogazi stormed to victory in the men's 400-meter at the Tiger Track Classic in Auburn, clocking 44.98 seconds in his first 400-meter race of the year. Irvin Person finished second in 45.32 seconds and Zai Ricks third at 45.58 seconds. Meanwhile, at the Drake Relays, Chidi Okezie placed third in the men's 400 meters with a 45.46 second run, as Jamaica's Zandrion Barnes claimed the win in 45.29 seconds. Caleb McRae followed closely with 45.38 seconds for second. In the men's long jump, Charles Godfrey triumphed with a wind-assisted leap of 8.13 meters on his third attempt and a wind-legal 8.03 meters. Cameron Crump was second with 8.07 meters, I beg your pardon, while Stephen McCarter was third with 7.85 meters. And Alex Iwobi recorded his 6th assist of the season to help Fulham secure a 2-1 comeback victory over Southampton in a dramatic Premier League weekend. Jack Stevens gave Southampton an early lead before Emil Smith equalized after Iwobi's clever play. Ryan Segersson scored the winner in stoppage time, lifting Fulham to 8th place. Meanwhile, Ipswich Town were relegated after a 3-0 defeat at Newcastle, compounded by Ben Johnson's early red card. Vipers ended their winless streak with a 3-2 thriller against West Ham, while Wolves notched their 6th straight win by beating Leicester City 3-0. Actions continue Sunday as Liverpool, needing just 1 point, aim to clinch the Premier League title against Tottenham at Anfield. And that's all this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. All eyes turn to Conclave as Pope Francis' tome opens to public. And Abia Governor Oti has dismissed reports suggesting movement to the APC. We also told you that opponent Gbagbo has launched slogan "Enough is enough" ahead of Cote d'Ivoire's presidential election. Now remember, you can send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on your screens now. And do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can also watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.